Good morning, kids. Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. Today, I have some guests, and we're going to talk about some various subjects. Hit that like button, subscribe, notification bell, share this video. You can reach me at fearlessfloyd@yahoo.com. I'm also on Telegram, the Fearless Floyd Show, man. Come hang out. We chat 24/7. You never know who's going to be up all night wanting to know questions or just want to spill their beans. So I got a couple of guests. They're hopping on right now. And there's John and there's Jesse. I like that backdrop.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, awesome.
Are you there, Jesse? Thanks for waiting on him. Okay, these forms that we're going to go over, do you have copies of them or do I need to go snatch them up and put them on share?
I do, but they're on my laptop and I'm on my phone.
Okay. Well, I can go get them. No big deal.
Well, because
All right.
all of mine, all of the forms that we're going to talk about today,
Uh-huh.
I have templatized and filled out with information that you're not going to get on the actual form.
Okay.
So let me. I'm going to forward them to you so that you can share them on screen. I'm just going to.
Email them to me.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it has my personal information in there, so I don't want to just like throw it in the group.
Well, this is going on YouTube.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's okay. That's okay. It's just my social. It's not a big deal.
Mine's on
It's
YouTube.
you know what I mean? It's like I got control of it. I got lean on it. Anybody does anything, I'll know about it. My LexisNexis is already canceled.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, my
uh,
identity got stolen when I was in prison, and I got notified in there by the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia, and they actually caught the guy. I didn't even know my credentials were being used. Um, so he's in federal prison.
oh well.
Yeah, and then you get
But
out, and
yeah,
you got to shut everything down, and
and try to get everything started back up.
well, you can't get anything because you have zero credit, no credit. How you doing, Jarvis?
Down the bottom left. And then yeah, click that. Now turn your volume up. That's weird. Okay. Copy link. All right. So this one is not done for my social. This is done for my domestic trust. This is called the 1099 CAP. And what this document is for, let me go in here into the group and throw it in there, throw the link in there. This document is to change the control from the US Treasury to that of the beneficial owner's control into a private irrevocable trust. All after. So this is something that you will file.
Hang on.
Once you've completed your your SPC trust.
Okay. Hang on, I gotta share the screen.
Yep.
All right, there we go.
All right. So you'll see at the top the corporation's name. It's asking for the corporation's name, street address, and obviously it's the legal entity. And then the address is America's National Department of the Treasury.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the corporation's TIN in this case is going to be my 9-8 for my foreign trust. And what I'm doing is I'm placing my domestic trust inside of my foreign trust. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this is the second one that I filed. The first one that I filed was putting my social into the domestic trust and then filing the domestic trust into the 98 trust, the foreign trust, so that now you have the shell game layers of protection there.
Right. Yep. Totally get
right?
that. Yep.
You put in, you file your 8281 to go with this. And I do believe I have a template of that. I'll find that here in just a second. But it's real simple. The account number is going to be your birth certificate. And then
this number down here, the very bottom left.
Yeah, very bottom left. That's the account number. It's going to be the birth certificate.
Okay.
And
Now, let me ask you on this form here, is this a what is this, like 5-page or 3-page carbonless
yeah,
document?
it's a carbonless. Yes, it's carbonless. So you can print this, and use it as is. You don't have to order one,
Okay.
but you can.
All right.
And so what I did when I filed this, it was at the same time that I went in to the IRS to question, because I had mailed them the letter stating that I was a non-decedent, but I never received any response back, and I wanted to, double check it, because I sent them the executor letter and all that. So I go in and I asked to see the agent and told them that, I was the executor of the John Kennedy French estate, here to see a forensic accounting done on the account and get a copy of the individual master file. Well, she asked me, well, what do you want it for? After first she played dumb. She's like looking through her computer and she's like, oh, well, I see a file here for individuals, but I don't see anything that says master file. And I was like, that's when I reached into my little folder and I pulled out the Code of Federal Regulations that talks about it. I can't remember what it is now off the top of my head, but and under tax forms and instructions, it's under Title 26, CFR 26. And she says to me, well, what do you want it for? I said, well, because my estate owns it. I own the estate. It's mine, and I want it. So she puts in the order, and she says to me, well, we have one here that's coded and one that's uncoded. I was like, I'll take both.
Yeah, usually they give you the coded one that nobody can decide.
Yeah. But she flat out came out and told me, and I was like, I'll take both. And then no sooner than she got the order processed in her employee terminal, which I learned a lot that day too, because she was guiding me through her employee terminal and all the different things that she could look up.
Oh my God, really?
So
Wow. You
yeah,
got a good one.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun, and I've taught a few tax preparers since then on how to navigate their employee terminal a little bit better.
Wow.
So no sooner than she got the order in, the manager calls from upstairs, asking questions,
Mm-hmm.
wanting to know who I am and why I wanted the paperwork.
Yeah.
And she just looks at me because I can hear everything that the woman's saying on the phone, right?
Right.
And she so the lady in front of me is just kind of looking at me haphazardly, like, because it's his and he wants it.
Oh, wow. Was she
um,
new or just naive or
well,
kind of
no, she was scared. She was scared because I came in there with absolutely no fear and I knew what I was talking about
right?
sufficiently enough that they couldn't just shoo me away,
Yep.
right? Um, so place the order, and then she's like, all right, the file will be here in about 3 to 5 business days. And I was like, good, great. I need to order some 1099 forms. I need to order this. I need to order that. Da da da. So we got all that ordered and everything. And then I went home and I get a call the next morning. Yeah, your individual master file's here if you want to come and pick it up, or we can mail it out to you, whatever you want to do.
Wow. The next morning, huh?
The very next one, 9 a.m. the next morning, I got the call. So obviously we went right down, we picked it up. And at the same time, I brought in the 82, 81, and the 1099 CAP to file and have it file stamped.
Uh-huh.
Um, so this time we go in, and the office that was normally open to people coming in for private business. Now she knew I was coming in, but her office was closed. So I was forced to have to deal with the clerk at the stand-up window.
Right.
Um,
That's the 8281.
yep. And I'll get my template here. Hang on just a second, or maybe it was an 8832. Let me double check.
Uh,
Give me just a second. 281.
8822B. That's change of
No, it
address.
was 80. It was 8832.
8832.
Yeah, the entity classification election. Give me just a second. Oh no, that's the social.
Entity classification form.
Yep. I'm about to send you my edited one here. Just a second.
Goes to Kansas City and Ogden.
Yes.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Paste. All right, there's that one. That's the 8832. Now again, these get filed together, and you're gonna do one for your social going into your 9A, and one for your domestic trust going into your 9A. Now, where I was leading with the story in the IRS building is that when I filed these documents, originally I had filed them so that it had the social going into the uh, domestic trust, and then the domestic trust going into the 9A. What the ladies did when I went in there this time, they actually, when they had me at the window, instead of me just dealing with the one woman in the little office, they had that closed out, and they brought up a manager to help the clerk. So, and now this is pretty much what ends up happening everywhere I go now. Any clerk's office that I go into, I end up stuck with 2 managers instead of the single clerk because they just don't know how to handle me.
Yeah, you're over
Um,
their head. Yeah,
yeah,
I run into that everywhere. Even the
yeah.
managers sometimes are like,
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
might,
So
might as well be a little
so
green man speaking Mandarin.
yeah, absolutely. And I've even had a judge tell me before, I'm not from your world. Like
Yeah.
I'm not in your world, and I'm like, yeah, I know you're not. So, but what they did was is they actually they fixed the filing for me and corrected what I was doing, and they said, no, what you need to do is you file them both individually underneath that trust, right? So instead of doing the 1099 CAP going into the domestic, for the social going into the domestic, and then domestic going into the 98. It was social into the 98 and domestic into the 98. That way they're both directly underneath that foreign entity.
Okay.
And I see now why she did that, because the one trust holds the superior lien interest over the name, right?
Mhm.
The domestic holds the superior lien interest over the name. But they're two separate entities. And while I was thinking it was creating a shell game, in all reality, it still would have left that social in a domestic capacity,
Okay.
because the domestic trust is still domestic,
Right.
even though it's owned by a foreign entity. It was created domestically. So putting it in directly under the foreign, the 98, immediately just moves it out into foreign jurisdiction. So it's no longer theirs to play with.
Right. Good morning, kids. Welcome to the Fearless
Hey, how we
Floyd.
doing?
As always, is that me? It's me, your host, Fearless Floyd. Hang on. You can always contact me at TheFearlessFloydShow@yahoo.com. Put a comment in below. Okay, I gotta find out where that's coming from.
Yeah, I think somebody's playing your show. Oh, and my headset's about to die. Shoot, I gotta find my extension. No, not. Oh, I give up the extension cord.
All right, I think that took care of it.
I think that's
All right. Sorry about that. Carry on, sir.
Well, I'm gonna need a minute because I gotta get my charger for my headset real quick.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's gonna die on me. So give me just 2 quick minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna share the screen. Basically, it's the IRS website. How to order forms. You can't even order these forms anymore.
So there's a hack for that.
Okay.
Call the IRS international number.
Hang on. We're not going to put that on here. They're flooded so bad now through Chris Hauser's idiocy, or I should say idiocies, that we don't need to hit them with a backdoor.
Well, they're usually pretty prompt and chipper when I call them, because that's the only way that I order all of my IRS forms. Is I call the international number and have them go through their employee
Right.
terminal. All right, I'm just gonna have to let it ride, and then when it dies, use the mic because I can't find my extension.
Okay.
All right, so
You know what I started using? I used to have one of those little Bluetooths like you have. So I have these for the gym,
Yeah.
and these things last phew, like
Oh
8 hours.
well, these here have a 12-hour life. It's just
Okay.
I use them at night too. Because like I put on books or different frequencies
Yep.
at night, and so yeah.
Okay.
But all right, so those documents, those will help you take control of the account
Uh-huh.
once you've created your trust, your SPC trust. Um, we can get into that on another video or whatever, because that's what I do. Um, but as far as tax exempt status, uh, how to fill out your W-4, what to use the W-8 bin with, um, when to utilize it. Uh, yes, you can utilize the W-8 bin for your employer.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's not designed for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. They don't know what to do with that.
right. It's designed for your bank to be giving to your financial institutions at the
Okay.
same time that you place your banker as fiduciary. Um, really, all you need when it comes to tax exempt status is I've been filing tax exempt since 1997 when I was 16.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Because my dad always told me you can file exempt for up to 3 years before uh, you're forced to file. And he told me that before I got into the workforce. Um,
Wow.
so I just always filed exempt. I always checked that little box,
No dad.
right? Yeah. And long story about the things that he knew that he never came up off of the knowledge about, that later after he passed, I ended up finding out he knew way more than I could have ever imagined.
Oh, wow.
Um, but so I never bothered to click anything except tax exempt until my son was born.
Hmm.
And then when my son was born, I was drawn in by the earned income credit tax and you get this much back, da, 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 and I'm thinking as a debtor. You
Right.
know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Child tax credit.
Right, right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I paid taxes for like 4 years, and then I stopped paying again. And then I come across this video. Everybody, I'm sure most people in this group have seen it. The IRS woman who put out the $50,000 reward to show the law that says that you have to pay income tax.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, I ended up finding Title 26 of the Code of Federal Regulations under tax forms and instructions,
Mm-hmm.
601.602. So Title 26, 601.602 of the Code of Federal Regulations under tax forms and instructions states that the income tax system is based on voluntary compliance. Or sorry, not the income tax system. The tax system is based on voluntary compliance. So if it's voluntary and I choose not to volunteer, there's no need to comply. And if equity does not aid a volunteer,
Mm-hmm.
then I choose to not give up my equitable right and interest in my blood, sweat, equity as principal to your corporation.
Right.
So 2021, government tries to switch it up a little bit. They changed the W-4 form.
Mm-hmm.
They took out the tax exempt checkbox.
Yes.
And in the instructions, it says to write in on the form by what authority you are tax exempt and if you are tax exempt. So I simply write Title 26 CFR 601.602.
And where do you write that?
Right down there at the bottom, at the very bottom of the form.
Down here?
Scroll down. Right there. Yep.
Okay. In the footer?
Yep.
Yeah. I write exempt in these three box lines right here in box 4, section 4.
Yep.
And then right here, I put non-resident, alien, American national
Yep.
in red letters, big red marks a lot. And then sign it with my byline without recourse. Date it, give it to them,
Yep. That'll do it.
and they generally don't have a problem with it. I've run into one company, man, Jesus Christ, I swear to God, I worked for them the first week of January, and as of yesterday, we were still going back and forth with this bullshit, signing these forms because I didn't want to do it digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said, I'll print them. I said, send them to me. I'll print them out. I'll fill everything out, send it back. No copyright symbol, no colons, no hyphens, no without recourse, no by. I mean, they
They
kept
wouldn't
me.
let you do anything.
They kicked it back one after another, after another, after another. I was like, that's all right. You guys are already on notice that my stuff's copyrighted and it's
Yep.
protected. And
Yep.
send you notice right now. It's in, where it was at, just Cherokee County Superior Court Law in Georgia. And it's, I sent them the public notice as well.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, that
So
was
yeah.
a nightmare.
So the W-8 bin
Uh huh.
would only be used for your bank account, right? And that's only used when you're trying to not give your social. Now, there's a lot of talk around the internet about don't have your bank account connected to your social.
Yeah.
Don't give them the social. Just give them the social. Get your stuff set up. And then you go back and correct the record later when you're coming back with an iron fist that can shut them down, because once you get your bond in place where it's tradable on the platform, not the bond that everybody's sending off to the treasury, the $100 million bond, because that works, but not the way we
Want it to
think
work?
that it's right.
Hmm.
It works for something, but not what people are trying to use it for.
Right. And that's the redemption process for those of you who
Exactly.
have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah. The redemption process. I've done the redemption process. I do the redemption process. I teach the redemption process. I walk people through it from starting at authenticating your birth certificate all the way through getting your Duns and Bradstreet number, getting your 98, getting your DOT plates, getting your cage code so that you can contract with the federal government and you actually have the ability to utilize the GSA forms properly.
Okay. Let me back you up.
But
Let me back you up because you stated a term that you understand, but 99% of the people listening to this video
right,
want the cage code.
the cage code. So the cage code is a code that is supplied by sam.gov.
Okay.
Sam.gov works hand in hand with the GSA. And those sam.gov and the cage code allow you to get rewards and awards and contracts, grants, etc., from the federal government.
Hmm.
And this is also how you can get into the realm of buying and selling court cases by the debt that is created on the case.
Really?
Yes. This is where all the money is really made in the back office, and why the court registry investment system exists.
The Chris.
Yes.
I just went on.
Because
Remember? Oh, you weren't on, but last night we were in a chat with Jesse and some other people talking about some different things, and I took a time out and did a video on my notice demand for criminal bonds. Somebody, because they wanted to know what all bonds and GSA forms I was asking for. So yeah, all right, well, cool. That's a good topic. We have 10 more
so
minutes in this Zoom session.
okay, real quick, I just want to say, do you and the people out there, do you guys know what the primary objective and the main objective is of the Chris?
It's it's twofold because I personally have filed, and they have it in the Harris County District Clerk's office, a form. It's application and motion to withdraw minor funds from the court registry.
Yes. Right.
Uh,
Yeah, I know
yeah.
about that form. I actually submitted it into a case, just to prove to them that the Chris exists, because they tried to deny it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to them. They actually have it down there. They freaked out when I sent them a real birth certificate because that's part of the
Yeah.
requirement. Yeah,
Yeah. They did that shit with me too.
yeah.
So the primary purpose of the Chris system is to ensure the maximum protection of the principal.
Ooh, ooh.
Who's the principal,
I'm fixing to show you. Hang on.
right? Now, this makes a lot of sense as to why they would warehouse you in a room 24 hours a day, 3 square meals, with armed guards. Not because it's a punishment, like they're trying to make you think, right? Get you feel like you did something wrong and like you're less than. No. It's because they have to protect the principal long enough for that bond that's in the case to mature. Because that's all you're doing there, sitting your ass in that cell, is counting off the days that it's taking for the bond on the case to mature, and for the judge and everybody else to be able to cash out and get their money and put it into their
Yeah.
IRAs or whatever else they're doing with it.
It up.
So as far as the tax exempt stuff goes, dealing with your employer, very, 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 very simple. Do not let them dictate to you what you can do for paperwork. They don't want to redo your W-4, fine. You correct the form yourself and you mail it to the IRS yourself.
Yeah, we're gonna probably have to do a walkthrough on that.
Mailing it to the IRS. I mean, the instructions are right on the form.
Yeah, but just the whole process. Where did I park that thing? God, I've got so much stuff.
I hope I didn't give him that extension. Jesse. For that controller. It might have been hooked to the control, but I could have swore I pulled it apart.
All right, here we go. This is my notice of demand.
Oh, that's
And
clean.
oh yeah, anyway, you're gonna find this funny. And I'm going to my exhibits. right here. DMB, Business Directory, County of
Yep.
Harris.
Yep.
Who's the key principal? Mark Ellis. Well, let's go see who Mark Ellis is. Mark Kent Ellis was judge of the Texas 351st
Yep.
District Court.
Yeah. Here it's a guy. Oh, what's his name? I looked it up for Tarrant County, Texas, and here it's a guy he's actually the administrator of the jail.
Ah, yeah. And here's the DMB report on the judiciary courts of the state of Texas, right here. And they're subsidiary of the state of Texas in Austin, Inc. Right here it tells you they're a for-profit corporation.
Yep.
And of course, it's certified by a clerk. This is the guy who submitted it to Liberty County where I went and got it. That's CFR 7211. And let me swap these. Nope. All right, this is gmiutility.org right here. You see my name, so this is my account. This number right here, that's my latest Texas Department of Criminal Justice Correctional Institution Division warehouse number or my prison ID number. Okay. And when you go into this and you pull up these accounts, these numbers, and all you got to do is just hit any one of these. This will put it in numerical order. That'll alphabetize these legal names. This will alphabetize the city. This will alphabetize country, et cetera, et cetera. So all you gotta do is click on that, and it'll put it in A, B, C, D, or it'll flip it and put it in Z, Y, X, etc. Or when you click it again, it'll put it in the original order of these numbers. So you can see right here, Afghanistan, the Maiwan Bank, Islamic Bank of Afghanistan, the Enrodat, Adora, and the Sociedad Unipersonal in Andorra. So we're going to scroll down here, and you see there's 352,248 records, right? Okay, so we're going to scroll down, and I printed out all the pages.
Well, but
Hang on.
I don't see how that would be connected to your number, though.
Okay, right here.
All of those accounts have probably been open for a long, long time.
This is my certificate of live birth number. Maiwan Bank, Islamic Bank of Afghanistan, Enrodat International, Sociedad Unipersonal.
Okay. All right. I see where you're going with this.
300,000, 300,052, 248. And we're going to scroll down a little bit more. This would be my social security number. Maiwan Bank, Afghanistan, Islamic Bank of Afghanistan, Enrodat International, Sociedad Unipersonal. 352,248 records. So as you see in GMI Utility, all those are connected, and I'm the only person that I know of in the world who's connected 3 different governmental issued ID numbers, 2 by the state of Texas and 1 by the federal government that have the same amount of LEIs. Now, these are my case numbers. This is my actual trial. And you can see these right here. And 181, 846. That's my direct appeal. 181, 846. That's my post conviction. 181, 846.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm the only person in the world that's been able to connect those that I know of. I haven't found anybody else to do it. But anyway, so that's the GMI utility, just for your little FYI. And how I did that is I would take and I did all kind of iterations, but just take all the hyphens out and hyphenate the last number.
All right.
And you do that with all of them. And then hit that city, and it alphabetizes the countries for you, or cities. That's the easiest way to do it. And, you can go look these up, these legal name entities, and